T'Challa, and welcome to another episode of Thrutheglasstable. I'm Everett.
And I'm Izzy.
And today we'll be reviewing Black Panther.
Jeez, it took you a while to remember what the fuck we're doing. Black Panther is Kevin Feige's Disney Marvel's latest film in its cinematic universe, and it tackles current U.S. political issues while trying to maintain its cat-like comedic retorts. Ooh la 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 la. Meow meow.
So, Ismail, what did you think of Black Panther? Okay. We got a lot to talk about, y'all. I'll preface this before I say what I think about it, where this is one of those uncomfortable movies, or I guess a situation of a movie where the outside world
Was messing with the movie?
yeah, is messing with how you
The
can
political
talk.
frame behind the movie.
Yeah,
basically.
and that's so annoying to me because no matter what we say, even if we explain ourselves, it's still people would translate it. Oh well, you just don't like Black Pride.
hate it.
Yeah. So now that I've said that, I didn't think this movie was that good. It was okay. It was mediocre at best, but I think this is probably one of the worst Marvel movies for me.
Worst.
For
Wow.
me.
I don't agree with you to say this the worst Marvel film. You know, I think for me it's in the same vein as like Thor 2.
Yeah.
So it's just like, which really didn't add much. And what disappointed me the most is that there was elements in it that I was like, man, if they just tweaked it that way, it would have been a great film, like something new and refreshing. But
this is a new twist on the way that I hate these Marvel movies. Is that it's worse when there's a good story buried in there somewhere, and that fucking Marvel shit infiltrates it and sucks all the life out of it. Like in this movies, we won't do spoilers, I guess. Or
well, it's been time. You know?
too late. Spoiler alert. Okay, go to the end of the video if you can't handle it. But so Michael B. Jordan plays a character, Killmonger. Killmonger's storyline was the most interesting thing to me, and that was the only thing that woke me up in the movie because I was falling asleep. And I liked where his story was coming from. It's sort of like you have this perfect place in Wakanda, but I mean we're still suffering here.
Like the black community.
Like the black, yeah, Black America is still suffering here, and so he represents to me like the repercussions of ignoring
Your people.
Yeah. But he don't come to an hour into the fucking movie. Or at least his presence is not felt until an hour into the movie, and then it's like 45 minutes left in the movie. And then before that, you spend all this time with Andy Serkis's character, and then what's the guy from Fargo?
Martin Freeman.
And Martin Freeman's character, and then it's all this dumb superhero stuff before that. And it's like, why didn't you just focus on Michael B. Jordan's story?
The relationship between Michael B. Jordan and T'Challa. There's really three different elements in the film. There's T'Challa's story about what the repercussions of inheriting the bad from his father. There's Michael B. Jordan's storyline, and there's also the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe that they're trying to hold. And it just didn't mesh well.
Yeah.
It didn't mesh well. For one, is like those two characters are complete opposites of each other and would have made a great contrast.
Yes.
But they didn't highlight it.
What I had fantasized was that, okay, T'Challa gets the throne and you know, Wakanda is beautiful and everything's perfect, but then this little, you know, this guy shows up on his doorstep and is like, look, your dad killed my dad, yada yada, let me into the kingdom. And then, you know, it's like it would be a difference between how he's grown up in our America and then how he's been growing up in Wakanda, and that would be so ripe for social commentary. But instead, it's like reduced to this surface level dumb superhero thing, and it was just like, it was disappointing.
Like T'Challa's main drive throughout the film is to be a great king, to be someone that he recognizes as his father, that his father would recognize. But then to have it be where his father is like flawed, and then he has to deal with those consequences. It just felt flat.
Yeah. Well, they don't delve into it, really.
Exactly. So it's all about how he's trying to keep Wakanda still a secret and trying to uphold his father's values.
But in a world that's changed from what his father was in.
Exactly. I just don't know. I just don't think they took enough time to develop that.
Yeah.
Because if the story was going to be about T'Challa mainly, which it is, then focus on T'Challa. and then it would have been such a great idea to have Michael B. Jordan's character it be revealed that it's his cousin like later. Yeah. That'll be like the cliff.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Well, because then he represents his father's mistakes.
Yeah.
And so see that it's so right there. It's there, but it's just like they didn't do anything with it. T'Challa as a character, I find extremely boring.
Really?
He's so boring. And I
like
found him
the Marvel character.
The Marvel character. Not, Chadwick does what he can with it, but I found him boring in Civil War too, because I thought that he was so perfect that it's just like, okay, who cares? In this one, he really doesn't have any flaws. Like, he's dealing with his father's flaws, but what
are his flaws?
Yeah,
what
is he dealing with? It just felt like he was just like, okay, he's gonna make it out of everything because there's nothing at stake with him. So I was bored with him.
At least have it be, if you're gonna be surface level about it, which is this film is very surface level. That flaw with his father and stuff is the emotional aspect of his own story.
Yep.
So if they would have contrasted with something like physical, just to even it out, like maybe he grows or maybe he becomes stronger in some way. Yep. I don't know.
Or even if he had picked up bad habits, if before he knew Killmonger was a villain. If in our fantasy world where Killmonger comes and tries to chill with him, and then he picks up bad habits and says fuck what his father did, that would be a thing to where then he would have to regrow himself and understand why his father was the way he was.
Yeah, it just wasn't too big of an arc.
Yeah,
because he did grow. There was character development, but it was so minuscule that it just felt.
Well, where would you say he grew from?
Well, he made the decision to discard his father's values. He opened up Wakanda, and then he did that.
That's true.
There is development there, but it wasn't gradual. It just happened out of nowhere.
Because it had to happen at the
it had to happen.
It's not earned. You could discard a bunch of scenes of like the sister making cars and shit.
Yeah,
all that stuff can go.
The fucking jokes that was stilted.
Yeah.
Like I swear that the whole middle finger thing. Everybody in the theater was quiet. The thing was not funny. It was just like I want to say slapstick because it wasn't, because no one was falling and stuff, but it was just like
it was their attempt to do something
like Thor,
the last Thor, or even Guardians. But the problem with that is those are so distinctive to that director and to what's his name, Watiti, whatever.
Yeah.
That you can't just do it. It was like a transplant.
It did feel like transplanting. It felt like he was trying to make it funny, because this guy comes from Creed.
Yeah.
This guy comes from what else?
Thrutheglasstable.
Yeah, so those are serious tones, and I think he strives doing serious films like that. And this also is a big budget film, so it's his first big budget film. So there's also
that on
maybe
top
he
of
just
that.
he just got caught up in it. All right, Everett, what'd you think about Ryan Coogler?
I have a theory about Ryan Coogler, which was proven by this movie. So I saw Thrutheglasstable like 3 years ago, and me and my roommate cried with each other because we were so taken aback by that movie. But when I think about it logically, it's the circumstance of the story that connected with me, and not the direction, because it's pretty like boring. I think I've seen half of Creed. That movie's actually probably his best directorial work, but it's still underwhelming. For me, it's not underwhelming. It's just sort of like he's serviceable. In this movie, it's the same thing. He's serviceable, but it's like real. Like he doesn't have a personality. It's just like real boring. Particularly coming out of Thor and Spider-Man: Homecoming, where all those directors have a voice. This one seemed the most like. This seemed like something that should have been in Phase 1.
I would agree. I would agree in terms of that. It's kind of just a little boring. But I think, I've seen both Thrutheglasstable and Creed, and I actually like Creed. Like how his whole overall pacing of the film is very straightforward, and it fits the tone of that film. I don't think this movie had a tone. I think it was stuck between comedy and trying to be serious because of the political element. So it clashed. It clashed a lot.
Do you think that? Well, first of all, the comedy's there obviously because every Marvel movie has it.
Well, now every Marvel movie has it.
But in this instance, this would have been the perfect movie to step away from that. And so, do you think that if it was just a straight drama and they focused on that, the director or his style would have shown through more?
I think it was heavily influenced by Disney. That's what I think it was. Because, like, he seemed to make it a point where there had to be a joke. Like, every other little transitional
It wasn't natural
scene.
to...
It didn't feel natural.
Well, I mean, it's about the cash, the dollar bills, y'all. Like, that's another subject I want to get into. So, people are taking this movie as if it's some sort of, like, second coming of black culture. And I really don't understand where you guys come from with that. Zoom in, Everett, as you edit this. Do you understand that almost 95% of the people who are board members on Disney are fucking white people? So who do you think is profiting from this movie?
White people?
Okay, so what? I understand people are excited because it's a celebration of African culture, but the end game, it doesn't benefit us. This is a calculated, purposeful business plan, business plan, but scam. Why do you think the soundtrack is Kendrick Lamar? Because they know you're gonna go buy it. It's all calculated so that Disney can make more money. So this is not like go vote. You know what I mean? Why are you all going to this movie in droves, but nobody went to the primaries in November last year? This is what frustrates me about the outside stuff affecting the movie.
I understand where you're coming from, and I do agree with you on certain points. But it's because they're going in droves because this is the first major big film.
But what's the end goal? Because it's not
the end goal.
It's not benefiting us.
Or it's to recognize yourself on the big screen. That's
so that you can give them more money.
It's a double-edged sword, because Gina Rodriguez has said it so much in that speech she gave. It's to strive to break those barriers. But the thing is, yes, you're right. Those movies make money. They're profit machines. We go because we want to be entertained, but they're for money. But to say that just to focus on that, or like how you just did it right now, it's also taken away from the culture and political aspect of the people wanting to be recognized. They want to be.
But it's so much money that's just going into the pockets of white people. So what is the end goal? Great, you made me feel good because I spent $13 and gave it to you.
I get you.
Like that doesn't make sense to me.
It's like buying cigarettes. They're bad for you, but they make you feel good.
That is a perfect analogy.
But it's like, what else is there? What else are we gonna do? Boycott it?
Not boycott it, but just go and watch the movie as a movie. Why? It frustrates me that people are turning this into some sort of cultural event.
Gotcha.
As if Obama became president. It's like people are equating it to that. And it's just like, are you fucking retarded?
I didn't know people were equating it to Obama.
Yes, or putting on African garbs. I get it. I get the fanfare and all that, but it's just open your eyes is what I'm saying. And just how about you go vote in November for your senators and your congressmen instead of going in droves to go see a fucking Marvel movie.
But let people go see a fucking Marvel movie.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna use that, if you're gonna use that same energy, can you please also use that energy to actually do something?
That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, maybe I wasn't saying it right.
People can have the energy. They can go want to see a movie, want to see themselves represented.
You do whatever you want,
but I think it's wrong to just put the energy for that.
See, because for me, there are some people who replace this with actually having to know anything about what's going on in their world.
Yeah, it's like pressing the like button on Facebook.
Yes. Or, like people saying how much they love hip hop, but in the end, what
have you done for hip hop?
Yeah.
What do you know?
Or like non-black people who say they love hip hop, so therefore you care about my culture, but it's like, man, you just listen to music. Like, it's not the same thing. Going to see this movie is not going to help us where we are. Just remember it's fine to like this movie, but remember, keep one toe in the real world, please.
One toe?
Yeah, just one toe.
What do you give it?
I will give this movie a 2 out of 5. It was real stale. There were parts where I thought that if they had focused on it, it would have elevated it. But in the end, it's a solid little movie that I would catch on TBS in between jacking off. It's just sort of, it exists. And that's my review.
I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
For my reasons, one is like, I know you hated Michael B. Jordan, but I actually really like Michael B. Jordan.
I didn't hate it. I just found him silly a little bit in some parts.
It's the first time he's an actual villain. and I liked his interpretation of it. And like you're right, the contrast between like Wakanda and Oakland, California. I think he just kind of felt fun. Like he seemed like the less stressed of everybody else.
Well, he certainly injected some energy into it.
That's what I'm saying. He seemed like he was having the most fun. But 3 out of 5, it's not a terrible film. But it did leave me disappointed. It did leave me wanting more.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. That's our review of Black Panther. This is our first review of the year.
It is.
Yeah, we've filmed one already, but that's not coming out till this week, and so catch us for Annihilation next week. But thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Happy Black History Month.